Hello, good afternoon. My afternoon thought for the day. When when we first started a video channel, a YouTube channel, it was a team activity. It was one of enthusiasm, a little bit of excitement at a new venture for really both of us. But sadly, as time has gone by, it's become a one-man band, be it what it has. But one of the things about being a foreigner, in the Philippines especially, I can't talk about having a foreign wife and living overseas in your own country and doing the same, but for a foreigner to have a YouTube channel in a situation where he has a partner, girlfriend, a friend, whoever, it can be problematic because in an attempt to not necessarily dissuade, but certainly to make other foreigners aware of the consequences or the difficulties that might beset a relationship, especially if you are sharing those thoughts in a general sense on a YouTube channel. Because you move away from, I suppose, the perceived idea that it's just hypothetical. You draw upon your own experiences, those around you, and you try and express it in a way that is non-confrontational. We as foreigners can explain situations of a need to be aware of something in our own understanding way, where most of you will understand where I'm coming from. But for a Filipino, even maybe your girlfriend or your friend that you're staying with, it's a different perspective because, first of all, they will always seemingly take the negative out of a positive point. When I say that, I don't mean quite so black and white. If I warn you about Tampo, as an example, it's not just about my own experience, it's about the experience of many people. And those that are being honest in their comment will agree that they've experienced it too. Filipinos are not the only people that can be moody. After all, I'm sure there's Westerners who get the hump and basically ignore their partner. But nevertheless, if you're not used to that kind of behavior and you feel that you wouldn't be able to handle it, is it not best to learn by listening to others? If you think driving a nail into the piece of wood is an easy thing without hitting your thumb, think again. I remember once we had a government project that I had tendered for in New Zealand. And I put a sign up when signs meant a lot. Carpenters wanted, apply within. And one of my tests for carpenters was I gave them a 4-inch nail and a piece of lumber, bit of timber as we called it there. And I said, now drive that in straight and I want to watch you do it. Some of them looked rather strangely at me, but others said, yeah, okay, mate. Off they went. And from that observation, I determined whether or not this guy or that woman, because there were women that applied too, whether they would be suitable for the kind of work I was looking for. I also said to them now, without the use of a square, a set square, however you want to put it, an object to make or mark a piece of wood. Could you cut that piece of wood, that piece of 4 by 2, 4 inch by 2 inch? Some people might call it 100 by 50. I want you to cut it off as straight as you can, like a drop saw, but I want you to use this handsaw. And I want you to pick this saw or that saw. Again, some of them look rather strangely. And guess what? Most of them picked the old saw. What did that tell me? That told me that they didn't need to think they needed a new saw to achieve the end result. And most of those that I were applying, I was able to get a good team together. Nailing, framework, nogging, and the job worked out really well. But those that arrived with shiny tools told me also that maybe this was their first job. Nice new leather belt round their midriff. Hadn't even got dirty. Hadn't learnt the lesson. It's all right to have a new tool belt, one where you can hang your hammer on, where you could put your chisels away so they don't get damaged. But to arrive with it looking like it's just arrived from Lazada is not a good idea. I always said to people, find a puddle, stomp on it, or wiggle it around the night before. Doesn't matter if it's a bit damp the next morning. After all, what is it? It's a tool belt. And you don't want to look like you've got a brand new set of tools. I'd much rather see well-worn tools than brand new ones. Of course, if the guy worked out well and he chose to bring his best tools to work, that's fine by me. But nevertheless, it taught me a lesson. Don't always judge a book by its cover. And therefore, when you come to the Philippines and you will find so many beautiful women, don't judge your beautiful woman initially just by her looks alone. You have to be prepared to accept that there will be blemishes. There will be aspects of her character that you find difficult to deal with. But if you have found the right one, you will stay with her, regardless of the conflicts along the way. Because after all, they're getting to know you, but they have to get to know you. Have to get to know them, but more importantly, they have to get to know you too. They have to realize that we're not here to condemn them. We're not here to draw conclusions that are detrimental to their character. And if they choose to, or have the inability to realize that constructive criticism should not be embarrassing to them if it's coming from the mouth of their partner. There's many times that my friends have told me I might be wrong, and they might say I don't listen, but I do. But they just don't realize I am listening. They're looking for an instant fix. In other words, I do as I tell you, not as I was trying to tell you. And that can be a big difficulty. And it will be, especially if you have a YouTube channel and they perceive you're picking on them when you're not intending it to happen. If I bring my life into my stories, it's not there to rub my dirty laundry in public. It's there to demonstrate my willingness to be honest with you. Life is difficult here. It can be very testing, and I'm testament to that myself. It doesn't mean that the advice I give you is wrong. It just means that I'm not infallible either. I can make mistakes. I can also admit to them. But when you're faced with criticism of other Filipinos, who then let other Filipinos know that I said this or I said that. I have no defense to that, because instead of trying to sort out the misconceptions that I'm trying to get over with my friends, I'm trying to deal then with their friends, telling them their point of view. An impossible situation. Hence, it has been difficult to maintain the bigger channel because of that one thing. Too many people putting their tuppence worth in. I try and tell people around me, if you think I'm this or you think I'm that, tell me. And I'll try my darndest to make things so it isn't how you perceive me. But it's an uphill battle. And I'm just hoping that this channel will be able to move on beyond that and still show others coming here to the Philippines or considering coming here that it's not all beaches and beautiful girls. You can have an ugly wife, but have a big heart, a caring heart, an empathy for you and your struggles to maintain your daily life in hers. So if you like this video, don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Tell your friends, please give us a thumbs up, because the more thumbs up, the more YouTube directs them here to me. And continue watching the other channel. You never know, it might resurrect itself. And that would be good. And be good not just for me, but for everybody. Bye now.